Welcome to Forza Horizon 4. It's been a long time since I've said that, and we're only back here because you lot as a community wanted to see a video on it this week. So what we're going to do is take a look around at all the stuff you can do in Horizon 4 at a glance, have a look at some of the events, and also see what else there is. I would show what's going on the playlist this week, but sadly the playlist has been removed. Okay, not removed per se, but at the very least there's no new playlist, and there hasn't been since I believe Series 77. It also looked a bit like this. And another small note is if we go over to Backstage, if I can find it, there it is, Horizon Backstage, we have now got, hopefully when it loads, a whole bunch of different cars we can go ahead and grab for ourselves. By the way, they've also fixed the bug which didn't show how many passes you have, so now you can see how many you do have. In my case, I've got 52. Can't exactly use them, mind, but I do have them. Now, we've definitely kind of picked a very awkward time to film in Horizon 4 because at the moment it is currently the winter season, but that does mean we do have the Writer Anywhere Showcase remix. If you don't know what that is, by the way, it's where they take the pre-existing showcases, in this case going up against a gigantic hovercraft, and turn them into something a little bit special. This one they've definitely made special because, as you can see on screen now, we've got ourselves the FX4 taxi, but not just any taxi. This is from the Isha's Taxis, I believe, story mission on this. It's been a while since I played Horizon 4. In fact, I think the last time I played it outside of recording was back in April. And the last time I actually made a video on this game was all the way back in August of last year. Now, the new Forza game on the horizon for next year, pardon the pun, it could be very, very interesting to see what elements they take from this game and put into the next one, what elements they take from Horizon 5 and put into the next one. But the stat that I'd be very interested to see is how many players finally make the jump from Horizon 4. Because yes, while Horizon 4 is still relatively popular, the player numbers have dwindled quite significantly since Horizon 5's release, and especially since they stopped doing the playlist. I do know a few people who are in the community who are still playing Horizon 4, and I've got to say, fair play to you. It's definitely an interesting game to play, but I'm one of those few that practically stopped playing this as soon as they stopped doing the playlist. And my reason for that is, well, essentially with the playlist done and with the star card done, which we'll jump into a little bit later on, I don't really have a reason to keep coming back to this game. Well, aside from today, where obviously all of you voted in the poll that you wanted to see this game back on the channel, so I thought, you know what, let's go ahead, jump into Horizon 4 and take a little look, see a round that's going to be a very, very, very close finish, and somehow we still managed to grab a first place, despite the fact we're going up against a massive hovercraft. Although, there we go, that is the ride to anywhere complete, and let's see, do we get anything from that? Or anything at all, please? Oh, we did, we get a super wheel spin, that's cool. We also got ourselves 6.2 grand from that, which is practically useless considering we've got about as much money in this game as we can get now. And by the way, before any of you ask, yes, that was done legitimately. I say that knowing there's going to be at least one person in the comments who's going to ask. Now, while it is cool to take my favourite drift car out into this game, the problem is there's a lot of snow on the ground, so I think we should get something a little better suited, shall we say. Can I have my engine audio, please, game? Can I have my engine? Is this thing electric now? Am I missing something? There we go, that's better. Now I have some audio. Thank you, Horizon 4. Very cool. Also, if you hear some buzzing, there's a fly trapped in my room and it cannot find an open window. Now we've taken a look at the Showcase remix, which is something pretty cool indeed, but now it's time to go ahead and jump over to the trial. If you don't know what the trial is, by the way, essentially it's a team of 6 of you versus 6 computers, and as a team you have to win. Now I will say there is one pretty cool advantage to recording this in the, I guess the winter season, and that is the fact that I get to show you this, because Derwent water on the edge of Horizon 4's map turns into ice completely during the winter season, and you get to drive on it. And if you ask me, that's pretty cool. And not only do you get to just drive on it, you can also drag race your mates. By the way, Forza Horizon 4 was the first Horizon game to introduce the Super 7. And don't you worry, we'll be taking a look at that too. Something else I'll leave for next time though is the Eliminator, and yes, that also had its starts in Horizon 4. Now, while I have a lot of cars for this, and of course I could take my absolute dream car, the 04 CB, we're going to go ahead and take this one from 2015. Now I know what you're thinking, why am I taking this one? Is there some big massive reason behind it all? No, this is the only one I have built. So, you know how I said earlier it's a team of 6? Apparently today it's a team of 2. This is also what I meant, by the way, when I said that Horizon 4 is a little bit quiet compared to what it used to be. Right, away we go. We're now up against about 6 other driver tasks. We need to go ahead and try and work our way towards the top to get ourselves some points to score. And ideally, hopefully beat that Mitsubishi as well. Right, we're now up into second place. We've got about 14-15% of the way through this race. And fun fact, the Derwent Trail Sprint, or Water Trail Sprint, whatever they call this was never one of my favourite tracks until I figured out how to drive. And that took way too much time. Speaking of driving, by the way, that Mitsubishi is having some problems doing some of that. The issue is the blooming thing's got speed. Side by side up the hill. This is not going to end well. Okay, finally we're on some road at long last. Let's go ahead, try and put the power down and see if we can actually win this. I mean, to be fair, as a team we've already won, but then again, you know, the whole Subi versus Evo debate, I really want the Subi to win. Brake, 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 mind the... Never mind. And across the line we go. There we go. I've actually kind of forgot about that little animation at the end, but we did take ourselves a first place in the Subi. The Evo finished behind us, and as a team, we finished in front of everybody else, so it's all good all ways round. let's go on to race number 2. Right, race number 2, the Astmore Rally Trail. Let's go ahead and see what this one's like, because I've forgotten half the tracks in this game. And away we go. Let's go ahead and see if we can get ourselves from 8th up to 1st again, because we did that just now and I'm very, very pleased about it. Oh, this is going to hurt. Brake, brake, brake. Sorry. That Evo driver probably hates me now. Right, sharp turn number 2. Let's go ahead and try and see if we can not bin it this time. There we go. Mostly because there's nothing for me to even bin it into. Oh, Evo, move out the way. Now we're onto the dirt. Let's try and see if the CB can shine once more. Right, there's a tiny bridge down there. Let's see if that driver remembers that it's there. I didn't remember that wall was there. Come on, don't miss the checkpoint. Whoa, whoa. And there we go. That's a 2nd place for us. Very interesting indeed. We did still finish in the winning team, and we've left Team Driver Tower with 0 points. Oh well. There's always next round. I say that, by the way, because we're heading into a 3rd race, because on the trial in Horizon 5, if you complete 2 and you win 2, that's it, the trial's done. But with Horizon 4, on the other hand, even if you beat 2, you still have to do race number 3. Yeah, I never figured that out either. Right, race number 3, let's go ahead, floor it and hope for the best. Also, I missed the title of this race, so if it's the gauntlet, we're going to be here a while. There's a puddle, can we use it to our advantage? The answer was no, unless the advantage was giving our car a sudden car wash. Right, sharp turn, let's try and see if we can just do what everyone else seems to be doing. By the way, wall riding in races, it's not usually the go-to thing, but we're against AI here, so, you know. If you're against AI, then I guess it's alright, but if you're against other players, just use some common sense, race clean. By the way, speaking of other players, I think our other player has just missed a checkpoint and now we're having to carry the whole team. Oh dear. But I guess at least the CB gets another win. You know, from the fact that we're driving up this way and the fact we're only 26% in, this feels like it could actually be the gauntlet. Fun fact, in Horizon 4, the gauntlet is one of the final big few races that you do. You've got this, the Goliath, I think there's also a Colossus, and whatever the one for cross-country was. Oh, and the marathon for street racing. Fun fact, by the way, to get up to 37% of this race, it's currently taken me nearly 4.5 minutes. Or for you lot watching, probably about 1.5. And across the line we go. A very, very long last with the 1st place. And, of course, winning with the CB. So I'm very happy. Now I'm wondering if my teammate's going to make it. Right, let's see. There we go. 3-0. Oh, we win. And so that is the trial complete. There we go. And we use a CB to unlock a CB. And it's my favourite. And from that, we also got 40 grand by doing the gauntlet. And for experience or influence in this game, we've got 17.9k. Something like that. Well, apparently we've been racing that long. We've come back. It's night and you can barely see where you're going. But my God, the moon looks good. Now, while of course we lost the playlist, we did keep some of the cool features, including all of this stuff from Forzathon. We've got ourselves the weekly challenge over here, and of course the Forzathon shop, of which this week consists of the 09 Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG FE. Of course we have ourselves a backstage pass, the super, and regular wheel spins too. Now, everything else I want to talk about is in the day, so I think I'll just skip back to when it's actually daylight and I can see where I'm driving. There we go, now we've got some sunlight. Right, where were we? By the way, yes, you can buy Bamborough Castle and use it as a player house in Horizon 4. Imagine how cool that is, just going back to your castle and saying, oh yeah, this is mine. Now, while Horizon 4 was at its heart a very, very fun game indeed, it did have its fair share of bugs, glitches and hidden secret spots. The only trouble is, I'm trying to find one and I can't remember where it is. I think it's roughly around here. Is it one of these? Or is it this one? Is it this one? It is! I remember there was a little gate there you could drive straight through, and suddenly, yeah, this was a very interesting thing about Forza Horizon 4. It's a beautiful game, but it was so broken. Well, if I remember rightly, I could just, there we go, drive straight out. There's plenty of other glitch spots as well. If you want a video on those, go ahead and let me know. Now, I've kept the most interesting facts pretty much under your nose the entire time that I've been filming, because as you've noticed, we are in snow, and to be honest, quite a lot of it. But at the time, that was absolutely revolutionary for the Forza Horizon series, because Horizon 4 was the first in the Horizon title to have seasons. Yep, seasons. Autumn, spring, summer, winter, you know them. And as it turns out, the winter season, which you can see at the moment, which we're actually filming in, that wasn't breakable. One of these days I'll get it right. But as you can see, the snow in this was very, very controversial. Half the player base loved it, the other half hated it. Although if you want my opinion on it, I just think you need a good car. And so we go from one castle to another, because here is Edinburgh Castle, and I think at the time the most expensive player house in Horizon 4. Although somebody in the comments is going to have to correct me on that. Although you're probably asking, why are we actually back in the house? I thought we were exploring. Well, we're exploring a part of Horizon 4 which I don't think anybody really talks about. And that's this, the Horizon 4 Star Card, one of the most notoriously tricky things to complete in Horizon 4, especially due to one of them over here. I can't remember which one it is. After a little bit of scrolling around all the different star cards and stuff, I found the one that was the problem, and it's what you see on screen. Horizon Stories The Magnates, because for a very long time, this was honestly hopelessly broken. Now, the reason why I say it was absolutely hopeless was because you needed to complete that star card, that little extra challenge there, to unlock probably what I deem to be the rarest car in Forza Horizon 4. At least non-DLC anyway. And it's this thing. This is the Ford Capri Forza Edition. The only way you could ever get this car is by, of course, completing the star card or getting really lucky on the auction house. I luckily was somehow able to do both. But it was certainly a very expensive time. There's also DLCs as well, for example Speed Champions, which sadly I don't have, and Fortune Island, of which I do have. If you want a separate video on that, let me know. And so we go from the Star card to the Super 7 cards, because earlier I did say we'd have a look at this, and I think now's the time to do so. Now I've done videos on the Super 7 before, specifically over on Forza Horizon 5, but Horizon 5 doesn't have Super 7 high stakes. If you don't know what that is, well, I can't blame you, but I've got to say it was very, very interesting. The whole premise is you go through all of these, every single one having higher and higher stakes. You get better and better prizes towards the end. I would show them off here, but sadly I don't have them unlocked yet. So as you can see on screen, for all of these cards, you only had 3 lives to complete them all, and you could only burn a card 3 times. Burning a card, by the way, essentially just means you don't want it. Okay, there you go. Here is a brand new one. But you could only do that 3 times. If you did that more than 3 times, or you ran out of lives, you failed the high stakes and you've got to do it all over again. Oh, and all the prizes you win along the way, gone. After all, there's a reason it's called high stakes. In the meantime though, let's go ahead and take this little bone shaker here and try and see if we can beat the speed target of 86 miles an hour. Of which for this thing shouldn't be a problem really. It's also cool that I get to drive this thing because I get to tell you about a really interesting little thing, mostly to do with Horizon Online ranked racing. Oh yeah, by the way, ranked racing was a thing in Horizon 4. When's it coming back to 5? But throughout Horizon 4, especially with ranked racing, the bone shaker was the most popular car to use, and even in Horizon 5 it's still the most popular. Through the camera we go, Super 7 challenge complete, let's go! Credit awards 3.5k, I'll take it. In the meantime though, I think that's where I'm going to leave this video on Forza Horizon 4. The entire area is covered in snow, so I can't exactly show off some of the areas that make this map good. But that's where I'm going to leave it up to all of you. Because if you want to go ahead and have a look at this game, I wish you the best of luck. It is currently delisted. But if you do want to see another video on Horizon 4, do go ahead and let me know in the comments. And if you've got any specific things you'd like me to do in Horizon 4, let me know those too. But in the meantime, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. So thank you very much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Tech out. See ya! Oh hello, where'd you come from?